All right, what is going on, Chiefs Kingdom? Welcome back to the KC Sports Report. Your host here, Michael Darcy, as always. I'm going to break down the Kansas City Chiefs 2021 NFL Draft class. So, the NFL Draft is concluded. All 7 rounds are in the books, and I thought that I would take this time in this video to break down all 7 of the Chiefs draft picks. You know, the Chiefs got a lot of good players this year that I think are going to go underappreciated, but I'm a fan of this draft class. So, in the first Chiefs draft pick, which was the second round, 58th overall, they selected Nick Bolton, the linebacker from Missouri. Now, if you guys saw my instant reaction to that pick, I obviously wasn't a huge Nick Bolton fan right off the jump. I really wasn't. I thought guys like Jabril Cox or Chaz Surratt would just be better picks. But it really kind of worked out fantastically because this is a guy that I think is going to be able to fit in this system, and what he does and what he excels at, it's going to make this defense even better. He's a prolific hitter. I mean, he's a big-time hitter. He's got a lot of athleticism. The knock on him coming out of the draft was that he wasn't good in coverage, but actually PFF, Pro Football Focus, had him graded at a 90.4 overall coverage grade, which is pretty good for the past 2 years. I mean, I think that really everybody else kind of thought that this dude was going to go late first round. I thought that he would probably go to like either the Packers or the Browns in the first round, but due to the fact that he slipped so far, the more that time has gone on and the tape that I've watched on him, I mean, he really just does explode off the tape. I mean, he's a big physical athletic specimen. He's going to provide a spark on this defense. He can stop the run, which is something that this team has needed for a long time now. And I think that this dude's going to be a good addition to this team. And due to the fact that he fell so far and he's a first-round talent, I think it's a good pickup. You know, obviously, a lot of people are going to say you're just making this stuff up and you're not actually happy about him. But, it never really came across my mind that he was going to be there in the second round at all. So when we did take him there, I was kind of surprised. I thought that they'd maybe go with a receiver or somebody of better value. But I love this pick, and I think that he's going to have a chance to play a lot this year. I mean, he might not start out of the gate, but I think that Anthony Hitchens' contract's up after this year, and this dude's going to have a chance with his football IQ and everything that he has to offer to be a linebacker, a very good linebacker on this team in the future. So I love this pick, and I think that he's going to be a great linebacker in the future. Now, the second overall pick, at least the second pick in the second round, is 63rd overall. They took Creed Humphrey, the center from Oklahoma. And again, if you guys saw my pre-draft work, I mean, I wasn't necessarily huge on him. I would like to say that first and foremost, I was not educated enough. A lot of the time when it comes to the draft prospects, you don't really understand how good a player is until you do a lot more research. So I did very little research on Creed Humphrey, but if you guys saw my reaction to this pick, I knew that when the Chiefs had that 63rd overall pick and they got their linebacker with Nick Bolton, 58 overall, they were going to be looking for somebody of good value. And Creed Humphrey is considered by many people as the best center in the draft. He's athletic as hell. He's a left-handed center. He's got good technique. He's a guy that, like I said, was widely considered as the best center in the draft. And I really like this pick because they got somebody that shouldn't have been there. And I think that that's why Brett Veach was so quickly to turn his name in, because I don't think that anybody in the Chiefs front office actually expected him to be there. I really don't. So I love this pickup. I think that he's going to have a chance to fight for the center job right away. Like I said, he's big, athletic, very good athleticism. He rated out, I think, as one of the better athletic center prospects that we've actually ever seen. So he's got a lot of good traits. At Oklahoma, he played with Orlando Brown Jr., the left tackle that we did trade for, and he had 1,300 pass block snaps, and he didn't give up a sack. Not that centers give up a lot of sacks to begin with, but I like the consistency. I like the fact that he could anchor down an offensive line, and now you got your line basically set up for the future. So I think that whether it is Creed Humphrey or Austin Blythe, you're going to have a good center this year. And I think that there's a very good chance that Creed Humphrey wins this job out of training camp. I really believe that. So fantastic pickup, and I think that this one's going to be one of the best of the class. Now, the next pick was a very interesting one. In the 4th round, the Chiefs did not have a 3rd round pick. In the 4th round, 144th overall, the Chiefs drafted Joshua Kane Doe, a guy out of FSU. He's a defensive end. He's actually considered one of the best athletic ends in the draft. Coming out of high school, he was the actual 3rd best end in the country behind Jalen Phillips, who got drafted earlier in the draft, and Chase Young. He was behind those two guys. You know, at FSU, he never really lived up to expectations, so to speak. A lot of that was due to injury. He didn't really live up to the hype in terms of production either. He was not really the big quarterback killer that we all kind of thought he was going to be coming out of high school. But this dude has the physical traits to be a good pass rusher at the next level. And, you know, I think that, honestly, this is a good value pick because a lot of people had him kind of high on their boards due to the fact that he was so athletically gifted. And to kind of go off of that, let's see. He had an RAS, which is a relative athletic score of 9.57, which is out of 10. So if you put that on a scale, I think I read something that from 1987 to, let me check that actually really quickly. From 1987 to 2021, obviously, because we are in 2021, he was able to rank, I think it was, let me check this really quickly, sorry for the delay. He was ranked number 59 out of 1,361 defensive ends. I mean, that is incredible. This dude has athleticism. This dude has the size. Let's see, how tall is he? He is 6'7", 265. This is a guy that has kind of the big athletic traits that Tano Passanio had. Obviously, Tano was a little bit better prospect, but I think that this dude has the physical traits. It's just, can he get better in the system? And I think that this is kind of a project piece. Obviously, we can't expect him to come in right away and be productive because he's coming from FSU and he's coming off of an injury. So we're going to have to see what he can do and how he develops. But this dude could be pretty scary. And I don't have any problem saying that because, like I said, I mean, again, I keep repeating myself. He's got such great athleticism that I think that if he can just develop from a pass rushing standpoint, he's going to be a steal. I mean, this is a dude that I really think could be a better Mike Dana. I mean, obviously Mike Dana wasn't great last year, but I would say that they're about the same level right now. But with the right coaching, Joshua Kane Doe can be very good. Now, the next player was one that was very interesting, and that is tight end Noah Gray, and he got selected 162nd overall in the 5th round. So, honestly, you know, I wasn't like huge on this pick in the beginning because I was like, why do we draft a tight end? We still need a receiver. It just didn't make sense at the time. But this dude, and the tape that I watched of him, because I went through all of these players, and I watched tape after we drafted them. This dude in Noah Gray reminds me a lot of Travis Kelce, and I told some people that, and they just kind of laughed at me, but this dude is, let's see, he is 6'4", 240, and to me, he kind of reminded me of Travis Kelce because he's so good in space. This is a guy that could be your tight end number 2, catch the ball. He's great in space and yards after the catch. Last year, he obviously, he had a dip in production. He only caught 29 passes for 285 and 2 touchdowns, so he didn't have that electric season at Duke that he had the year before, but I think that this is a good pick, and they traded up to get this guy. They traded up 13 spots with the Jets to select him in early in the 5th round, so I like this pickup. I think that he's going to have a chance to be the tight end number 2 coming out of camp. Right now you got Travis Kelce as your obvious number 1. And you got Blake Bell and Noah Gray. So there's some room for him to possibly win over that second job. And he's another big body receiver for Mahomes to go to when we need him to. And this guy is much better than Nick Keiser. He's much better than Deion Yelder. So I really like this pick. I think that he's going to have a chance to do something on this offense next year. And as long as he's ready, he's going to have his chance. So the next pick was one that I'm also very fond of, and that is Cornell Powell, and he was selected 181st overall in the 5th round. This is a dude that was at Clemson. He had Trevor Lawrence throwing him the ball. He's more of the X factor. He's not, or X receiver rather. He's not going to be a guy that's going to burn you away with his speed, even though at his pro day he ran a 4.47. But I think that this is a dude that can almost be like a Sammy Watkins replacement. And I'm not even saying that he's going to be that good. I want to pump the brakes on that right now. But actually, let me see. The Chiefs director of scouting said that he could be a post-up guy and he could pick up where Sammy Watkins left off. So that's pretty high praise from the development of scouting, or the director of scouting, rather. And I think that he's going to have his shot. I mean, obviously, this receiving core, you got Tyreek, you got Mecole, D-Rob. He's going to have a chance to fit somewhere in there. And I think that, I mean, we've got a pretty good track history with late-round receivers. So I like this pickup a lot. His college career wasn't really what a lot of people thought it was going to be, but he was like the second or third option on a Clemson team with Amari Rodgers, and he didn't even put up terrible numbers. He had 1,200 yards and 10 TDs in his college career, which it might not be as developed as a lot of people want him to be, but for somebody who is 6 feet tall, 204, I think that he's a very good developmental prospect, and he's going to have a chance to get better at the next level. So I think this dude could be a number 3 wide receiver. Maybe if he's just unbelievable at camp, he could be a number 2, but I highly doubt that. But this is a dude that I think will be productive next year, and he's going to provide a spark off the bench for the Chiefs. The next pick was a comp pick in the 6th round, their final pick, and they selected Trey Smith, 226th overall in the 6th round. And obviously, my first reaction was, whoa, we took a guard? I mean, I was like, we kind of got enough guards with LDT, Kyle Long, Joe Tooney. But I like this guy a lot, and he is one of the guys on my list from the offensive tackles and the guards that I looked at. But I honestly didn't know enough about him. I looked at it. He is a dude that was a 4-year starter, I believe, at Tennessee. He started 41 games, appeared in 42 games, and the only reason that he slipped in the draft is because he had blood clots in his lungs, which is obviously very unfortunate. I mean, the health has got to be something that a lot of teams were very scared of. But this dude, if it was a normal circumstance and he didn't have any medical history or concerns, he would have been a day 2 guy. He'd have probably gone in the 2nd or 3rd round. So if he can stay healthy and he doesn't have those clots, or if he does it, he can manage them. I don't think he can really manage that, but if he can keep it under control, so to speak, this dude's going to be a steal. I mean, I don't think that he's going to be a starter or anything right now, but as a guy that can come in and be a backup, I think that this dude's going to be a big-time addition to this team. He's 6'6", 330, a big-body dude, and on the offensive line, you need bodies. We even saw guys like Nick Allegretti, who a couple years ago was a 7th-round draft pick. He got the chance to play in a Super Bowl. I think it was starting a Super Bowl. So, obviously, you need depth on the line, and the Chiefs have done a fantastic job this offseason, and specifically in the draft, of finding the right guys to go in. And this offensive line is going to be filthy. One final thing about Trey Smith, he's got very good technique. He played as both a tackle and a guard. I think that he'd probably be a guard at the next level, but if we did have an instance in the Super Bowl last year where Mike Remmers was forced to play left tackle, this dude played both left tackle and guard. So I think that this is a great move for depth, and I like this pick a lot. So Chiefs Kingdom, that is my thoughts on the Chiefs draft picks this year. At least that's what I'm aware of. They could have traded back in the 7th round, but I would cover that in another video. I think the Chiefs did a very good job this year. I mean, I think that the goal coming into it was find guys that could play semi-soon, or at least find guys that weren't athletically raw. I mean, they did get a few guys in there, like the defensive end out of FSU in Joshua Kane Doe, but I do think that they found enough guys in this draft that could be productive if they had to start week 1. Now, obviously, I don't think that they will have to because this team is so stacked, but Brett Veach, as always, found guys that could potentially be good replacements. And when you're picking 31st overall, that's really all you can ask for. So, Chiefs Kingdom, well, let me know down in the comments below, what do you guys think of this draft class? I'll come out with my grades probably in the next few days or so. A lot of people are going to have different things to say about it, but I think that for what the Chiefs had in terms of needs, they did a pretty good job of filling those needs. So, once again, Brett Veach is showing everybody that he's the best GM in football, and hopefully these picks pan out, because if they do, This Kansas City Chiefs team is going to be filthy, and hopefully these players will be a contributing factor to why the Chiefs could win Super Bowl 56 next year. Thank you for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, hit that like button, comment, and subscribe for more of the best Chiefs content on YouTube. You can also follow us on Instagram for more of the latest updates on future videos, as well as instant Chiefs news right after it happens. You can also support the channel via the Patreon, as well as buying merchandise from the KC Sports Report store on Teespring. The links to all of those websites will be in the description. You just listened to the KC Sports Report, presented by Michael Darcy.